How's it going, guys? So today's video, I wanted to kind of do a little bit something different. So today's video is going to be the 10 best, in really no apparent order either. I really hate making these top, which one's the best, which one's the worst in this top tier list. It's just, in my opinion, the 10 best, for this video at least, the 10 best positive stats effects. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the blue ones can still be considered positive stats effects. They're not buffs because buffs are the green ones, right? But I think they're positive. In my opinion, positive helps you in any way, shape, or form, right? So there's gonna be some that are blue here, the blue colored effect, whatever you want to call it. So those are positive effects, and I have some in here. So the first one here is a blue one. It's a blue colored one, and this is on Chewbacca and his guard. Chewbacca's guard is insane. Not only can you give it to Han and the other weakest ally, so potentially two people, but on top of that, you're going to be recovering their HP protection whenever Chewbacca deals damage. And this is huge for the guarded allies. It is so huge because you can kind of just keep them up and up and up. And also on top of that, with guard itself, you can't be critically hit, you can't be dazed and stunned, and you have more critical chance. It is huge. Inside of the CLS Rebels team and outside of it, people find uses for it all the time. This is really a huge positive stats effect in the game because you can use it in a lot of different variations because it's tied with not just Han Solo but the weakest ally with Han Solo. That's really huge, and I think that's pretty huge in terms of the various uses you can get out of it. So that's the first one is Chewbacca's Guard. So the next one here is a buff, I guess you could say it, a locked buff. Some of these are locked, some of these aren't locked. They're just whatever. Whichever ones I think are really good ones to have. This one is on Gas and General Anakin Skywalker and his advance. So his advance is huge. So pretty much you're going to get advance whenever you have another 501st ally present. You don't need a full 501st team. You just need somebody else that's 501st to get the advance. And what advance is you have a taunt that cannot be dispelled or prevented, and other 501st allies cannot fall below 100% health, and that means that they just can't die. They're pretty much invincible, which is awesome, but they can lose their HP once the advance and the taunt gets off of Gas and he goes into cover. You can see here, can't be targeted, immune to all these things. But the biggest thing here, in my opinion, is the advance. For having a taunt, you can't really do much about. And if you were to, like in this instance, if you were to go and attack a 501st, well, you can't really do anything to him because you can't really kill him. Yeah, you can lower the protection, but you can't go to their HP, which is part of the way to kill somebody. You can't do that. So that right there, advance, is really, really powerful in my opinion. So that's the second one. Advance, the taunt is huge for Gas. So the second or the third one, I guess that was the second one. The third one is Lifeblood on Rey. This is a newer one, I know, and we're gonna just get these couple of GLs out of here with this one and the next one I'm gonna bring up. But the Lifeblood here is crucial in this team and outside of this team because anybody can have this, anybody can use this. Lifeblood, you pretty much get this. You take less damage by 30%, so you get decreased damage by 30%, and you get more damage, increasing your damage by 30%. So you get reduced damage by 30, and you get more damage for 30%. That's pretty huge. And on top of that, all other light side allies gain half of the amount of the HP that she loses. And if you did not know, she has a lot of HP. She's a Galactic Legend, and this is all in her ability, right? And if everybody, or where does it say? Oh yeah, if she's full health when she uses this, everybody gets critical hit immunity. That's light side, which is pretty huge. But the Lifeblood itself is pretty nice. It's really nice because you can actually now allow yourself in like some certain circumstances, you can actually provide a little bit more damage in some cases, or if you want to, you can just kind of take some reduced damage, which is really nice to protect, those squishy people that do some big DPS. For example, the Risen Zero Finn or Poe, they can use a big damage, but they're kind of squishy, so that's a great place to place them on. Or if you have like a taunter and you want to just take some reduced damage, just place it on the taunter that's taunting, and you're good to go. So I think Lifeblood's a very, very powerful buff in this game. So that's that one. The second other one I want to tie in with a GL is Kylo. This is his Siphon, and Siphon is not a buff, but it is one of those blue things, one of those blue positive effects that you can get. And Siphon, I'm pretty sure, is over here. You know, it's all over his kit, right? But I'm trying to figure out exactly where it is. I think it's right here. Yeah, Siphon Mastery. So Siphon Mastery you get all the time with Kylo. You get more if you hit somebody stunned, you know, all this sort of stuff. It's built in with his kit. But Siphon is really powerful because he gains now a percentage of mastery equal to the unit Siphon until the end of the encounter, and the target loses that much mastery. And it's pretty huge. It's busted, really. It's busted in the sense of long-term battles like the raids. You can solo the HSTR if you didn't know that. And, you know, inside of like some quicker matches like an arena battle or a GAC battle, he can still get some really good Siphon stacking up. So I think Siphon is a very, 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 very powerful one. If anything here was like number one on this list, I would probably say Siphon, because this is going to have some longevity in its use because of potential new relic levels coming down the line whenever we do get them. They will be coming, we just don't know when, but this will play a huge part in that whole thing there. So Siphon, yeah, you just get a lot more mastery, and then you make them lose some mastery, so you just get crazy stats and they lose some of their stats, so that's huge, right? So the other one here, we're going to go and have some fun here with Wat Tambor. You guys know Wat Tambor. I'm never going to miss my boy. He has some crazy, crazy tech he can give out on his mass manufacture. Crazy, he has 3 pieces of tech he can give out. One is a med pack, so they recover 5% health and protection whenever anybody takes a turn. And then you have a shield generator, which is kind of the best, in my opinion, one of the best techs you can give out to a tank, because they can now taunt, they can dispel their own debuffs, and they recover 30% protection. It's pretty huge. And then, of course, you cannot forget about the weapon tech. The weapon tech's also really good. Now, with this tech, you can get 15% more turn meter whenever anybody goes. Or actually, at the start of at the enemy's turn. It's not for everybody here. But the biggest thing here is that you can now ignore defense, and enemies defeated by you with the tech on them, you cannot be revived, which is huge. So these are some very powerful pieces of equipment you can give out to your teammates. This is not just for, you know, specific factions or, you know, dark side characters. This is for everybody. So it can be used anywhere you want. You can be very, very creative with this tech, and it is one of the best things, in my opinion, in the game, with its uses and your creativity with it. Honestly, it's just so fun to use. And you have 3 of them, so that's great. But, you know, enough talk about Wat. Everybody knows how good Wat Tambor is. But the next one is just, you know, a random buff. Random buff. Is it random? Not really, but it's a great buff. The one person I know for sure who has it is my boy General Kenobi, if I can find him. There he is. This guy has on his unique here, Sarisu, whenever an ally gets critically hit, they get critical hit immunity for 1 turn. Critical hit immunity is the buff I'm talking about here. Yeah, it's on GK, but I'm sure other people have it in the game, but I know for sure GK has it because I just always know GK. You guys probably already know the same thing, but critical hit immunity stops crits. Guys, crits are scary. They are very scary. I think stopping crits is one of the biggest things you can do in the game, and having it as a buff on your team is equally as huge. I know there's other people and characters that can just stop crits, you know, without having critical hit immunity, but in this case, with the critical hit immunity itself for the buff, it is a very, very powerful buff that's, you know, been around for a long time. It stops advantage. If they have advantage, well, guess what? The advantage does nothing. It does no crits because you're immune to it with the buff on you, which is huge for various different uses. So, you know, it might not be a huge one to think of, you know, when you're thinking about, you know, the best buffs in the game, but in my opinion, that is another top tier buff you can give and grant to yourself and your allies. It's huge. So that's one of them. And we now have another one that's just a normal buff. This is Tenacity Up. Tenacity Up, I know for sure that Rex has it. This stops debuffs. Debuffs are no bueno, especially when you're on attacking somebody and you don't want those stuns, those shocks, anything debuff oriented. You don't want that. And Tenacity Up is great at stopping those because you are immune to it pretty much for the most part, unless you get immune or that you get hit with Tenacity down, which is no bueno. But with this, you're pretty much just shrugging off debuffs left and right. And it's huge. You know, it's one of the biggest things you can get. It's very simple and plain, but it's very effective. Kind of just like the critical hit immunity, I guess you could say. You know, it does its job very well, and it's been standing the test of time ever since the game's come out. I mean, Tenacity Up, so huge for a lot of different teams. You know, Yoda has it. I know Rex has it. And I'm sure a lot of different characters have it. I just can't think of them right now. But it's a huge, different, crazy kind of buff. So That's that. And then the other one I want to go after here is Hermit Yoda's Master's Training. So Master's Training, again, is not just centered for one specific team. You can use it wherever you want. A lot of these are, or pretty much everybody here for the buffs are used anywhere you want. You're not just centered towards, one person, except for the Siphon, but that's a whole different story. Master's Training, you can give it to whoever you want, but the caveat here is that the Jedi get doubled of these effects, so they're going to get doubled the accuracy, the defense, the offense, potency, and tenacity, and they can't be dispelled or prevented, so it's a locked buff, and you get some crazy stats. So more offense is probably the biggest thing here, and following that up with the defense and the potency. Tenacity is nice, but it's not going to be enough to ward off those debuffs for the most part, I would say. But giving out 25% more offense for like the rest of the encounter is huge. And for that reason, I think this should be on the list because it is used a lot of different spots in the Jedi. Outside of the Jedi, he's just so good. And he's a great support as well. So Master Training is a great buff you can give to your teammates. So last couple here I want to go after and over here is just some fun ones. Nothing crazy. These are kind of simple ones. Retribution, guys. Retribution is my next one I want to chat about here, and it's just very fun. Being able to have the capabilities of countering somebody, and whatever your basic is that you have on your character, it has potential to do some more stuff on your basics, which is crazy. The Retribution is awesome. I think it's a top tier buff you can give to your teammates because you can do some more damage. You can potentially do whatever you have on your basic. For instance, on the Negotiator, if you use this special called the Negotiator, you get it if they have no debuffs. But the other one I want to bring up here is with Shakti because I know she has it. Shakti, she gets Retribution to herself and her clones whenever anybody takes damage. It says here at the bottom here, heightened reflexes, it says, whenever Shakti or clone trooper takes damage from an attack, they gain Retribution for 2 turns at the end of that turn. Guys, that's pretty crazy. Shakti with this is so huge. It's such a crazy unique ability, but inside of this whole team with her leadership, if they do counterattack, they get even more health and protection. And being able to have clones who can counterattack you, like whenever, it's a scary thought. So yeah, it's crazy in this team with the clones itself, but outside of the team, it's great anyways. It's a great buff, and I think it's a top tier one in my opinion. So the next one here is another, I would say, if you guys were to think of one, this is probably the one you would probably go to first for the most part, but I'm saving it for last because of how easy it is and how kind of overpowered it is at times. It is called the Damage Immunity buff. So the GLs, they kind of have it and kind of don't. For the Rey's ultimate, you go into the ultimate, you take reduced damage to 1. So only 1 damage every time you hit or you get hit. So kind of, you're immune to it. And then you have Kylo, the Supreme Leader Kylo, who is actually immune to damage altogether with his ultimate. You literally cannot hurt him, hit him, or kill him. Nothing. He is just standing there in his little stance. And you can't do anything about it. So those are kind of ways about damage immunity, but the ones I'm talking about really are just the buffs with damage immunity, like the locked ones that Jango can get to himself, and really anybody else. I know Droideka has it as well. Not too many people have them, but the buff in and of itself and how you use it is so good because you can't take damage. How great is that? I mean, it's so simple, in my opinion. It's so great. So, damage immunity is crazy. Not a whole lot of people have it, but the ones that do are awesome on. So, that's probably going to do it for my list today. I know that it wasn't crazy or anything, and maybe you guys already could have thought about these ones, but, I threw in some crazy ones, maybe like Tenacity up. Maybe that wasn't too crazy. Critical Hit Immunity was ones I don't think maybe most of you guys would have thought of, and such like that. So that's going to do it for today. I want to kind of follow up with this one with, we just did a positive stats effects one. I want to kind of go with a negative stats effects one. So maybe you guys in this little list here, maybe you guys have some differences in opinion with who you think, which ones you think are a little bit better than the ones I listed. I could have missed out on some for sure, but these are some of my favorite ones. I think these are great ones. Another kind of interesting thing about it, another honorable mention would be Stealth. Stealth and Foresight are really great ones as well. But I think these are a little bit better in my opinion. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it around, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. We're trying to hit our 10K sub goal, so if we could, that would be awesome. That's pretty much it. We have a Discord and a Patreon link. You can see the links right above me, and also you can go down below in the description if you want to check those out. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Again, let me know down below what you guys think, your thoughts are on these in this list in general. And that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out.